Hello, hello, and welcome everybody to saveVSgames presents Ballet of Shadows Session 3. It's mid-September now, and October approaches. Oh wow, something went wrong with my Windows as well. That's great.
Oh.
I'm just gonna transition back to this for 1 sec. Just so that I can fix the screens again. For some reason, they went funny on me. But in the meantime, I will explain to everybody what's going on and say welcome to everybody. Last week, we ended up having a battle with Lord Vultrix, a bird-like creature from this plane of shadows that maybe some of our adventurers are familiar with, maybe not. This creature seemed to be in command of a small group of worshippers who were devout not to him but to someone else in this realm. It was in fact a cult of worshippers of Vecna. And so our party was an awkward bunch of people that came together in various ways. Some of them transported here from other realms. Others growing up here, living here for many years already. And all of them finding themselves trapped in this moment together. Oh boy, I'm having some camera issues here. This is the best recap ever because it's like half listening to myself talk. That would be Ranger, who's not here as well. That's why my cameras are messed up, because I had it set up for 4 people.
And we've only got 3.
Yes. And I never said, hey, Greg, try setting it up for 3 people. But that is what we're doing now.
Are you intending to have the "We'll be back" screen up?
Well, yeah, because I was trying to rearrange everything, and we will be back.
All right.
When I finish rearranging. Okay, so this was... Have I got everybody right? I think I do. Okay. This was the scene of our last battle. At the end of our last battle. And what I'm going to say our heroes did after the battle, which they fought, this altar was used as a ritual sacrifice altar. Myra is currently standing on top of a bunch of spell ingredients on this table. I'll let them recap what they did in the battle if they want, but basically, from what I remember, it was a whole bunch of almost dying, and there was a lot of shades, draining hit points, and hit point maximums, and everybody sort of needs a long rest at this point. Everybody's pretty beat up.
And Myra set things on fire. This is nothing new.
Everything is quite crispy. Outside, not everything was lit on fire, but a lot of the people worshiping Vecna here were the priests, the war priests that challenged you all, not doing so well. The one that Ranger had chased down was also vanquished, and so Ranger has gone off to do some scouting. He often does disappear, as you know, doing a look over the whole grounds, making sure that there's no more stragglers that have gotten in. This used to be your place of residence for a little while at least, Shadar Kai encampment here, and this was once a place where, because there are a lot of shadow crossings here, you have found that there are a lot of people who could be devotees to the Raven Queen that show up in this area. So this is an outpost that she has her troops sometimes maintain a presence near, because they go out from this position and they obtain memories and things like that on her behalf. And so from this position, it's sort of like a week ago, whatever, it was a home in a way to you. And now looking around, you see the masks, the broken masks of your brethren. Theris, and I'm speaking of you right now, as you look over the scene that's at this altar, there's Shadar Kai blood spilled all over the ground here. The birth of a Shadar Kai is a rare thing. The death of one is a sad thing for sure, even though you know that their spirits go on to a better place. At least that's what, as a priest, that's what you might believe and hope. But this is a place of mass death now, and looking around, you can tell many brethren were lost here. Moreau, your friend Marseille, was near death at the end of the battle, and he is currently sleeping in one of the rooms. You've brought him off to this side over here, one of the rooms that was previously a jail cell to you. He is now sleeping it off in there. As you guys sort of go over this battle scene, Myra, you showed up here to at the time when these people were just about to be executed. They were to be part of this ritual, at least they were in line to be sacrifices. And before you could hear too much about this Lord Vultrix's plan, this vulturous creature that was performing the ritual, before you could hear too much about what he had to say, you intervened, and in doing so, everyone survived. So there is that. However, there are very little clues as to why you are here, actually. What it is that you just interrupted. And I believe your last words were, "Who the fuck are you?"
No, my last words were, "Who the hell are you and where the fuck am I?"
So I think that's probably a really great part to pick up in. So yeah, with all this blood and all this carnage around, you guys have dragged off Marseille out into the background there, where he can rest a little bit and recoup a couple of those injuries, and take it away, guys.
First, are we all looking hurt?
Oh yeah,
Like real hurt? Real hurt? Okay, all right. I'm just making sure. I'm gonna finally grab my staff and like kind of just like grip it and twist a little bit in my hand, and then from the staff cast Mass Cure Wounds on the three of us.
Marseille is let's say he's here if you want to bring him back after that.
Oh yeah.
Because he's down to 20 HP right now out of 71.
Okay. From my items, Mass Cure Wounds.
And I believe I also have one level of exhaustion, if I'm not mistaken, because I was hasted.
It's not exhaustion.
It's not
you
exhaustion.
Just get like a 1 turn of lethargy.
Yeah. 1 round of feeling tired. You lose your action. I think.
It's a really shitty roll, but 13 points of healing to all of us.
Nicely done. I want to make sure that actually went in. I don't think it did on its own, so I'm just going to go boom.
I did mine. Don't do mine.
I mean, I'm at full, but my max is cut to half of what it was.
Right, so you need a long rest.
Is Greater Restoration reduce or remove?
It does. I just don't have it. Unless you have it.
Understandable.
1 condition, yeah.
I used my 5th level, I think, for aid at that point. because that got more than one of us.
So what did you use for your mass cure wounds there?
My staff of healing.
Nice.
So I used 5 charges from it.
So you guys notice a powerful magic emanating from Theris as this staff puts a healing essence into you that actually seems to... There is a despair in this land, Myra, that you're starting to feel already, even after a couple minutes of being here. And Marseille and Moreau are as well. They both feel the drag of this place already. It is a woeful experience just to be here. It's almost hard to... like, lethargy and procrastination are just so easy to give into right away. What's the point of doing anything, you know? So there's that feeling of like, why am I even doing this all the time on your head? Like, maybe I should just go sit in a corner somewhere, you know? What's the point? And that despair is crawling at you, even at just a little bit at this point. But you can tell it's something that will build over time. And that staff, when he healed you with it, you felt a reduction of that feeling. It's like a calming effect, even.
Okay. I mean, Myra
I'll-
would kind of... Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I'll just respond to your first. Who the fuck are you? And yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I'll just kind of nod. I don't really come any closer. Theris, I live here. You're on the Shadowfell. Could you not?
What's the Shadowfell?
Wait, really?
Yeah, I mean, the last I knew I was in Barovia.
Do I know that Barovia's in the Shadowfell?
You would know that is not a place that you want to end up, and that many people who go off the path can get lost for good.
How did you get to Barovia?
Long story, but basically, there was a jerky, oh my goodness. What's the name?
Vistani?
Vistani. Yeah, I was like, what's the name? Basically, you know, I was hired by a duchess to look into something and ended up with some Vistani, and their mists came, and I was in Faerun, and then I woke up and I was in Barovia. I was in Barovia for a couple weeks. Lots of really bad things happened, and then I fell into a portal, and now I'm here.
I mean, well, thank goodness you're out of Barovia then. It's not a place you want to end up in.
Yeah, but this doesn't seem to be any better.
Oh, it's
a tree.
Well, what was that?
I came here through a tree.
You came here through a tree? That's not unlike coming through a portal. Where are you from?
Faerun, all the same.
Faerun? Where in Faerun? I came from Daggerford.
Greenforth, very different.
Oh, okay. I'm Myra, by the way.
He like reaches out to shake your hand, but it's just like covered in blood, and so just like reaches out an elbow and gives you like an elbow pat.
She'll be like, good call, good call.
Right.
Are you a cleric then, Theris?
Yeah. I saw the Raven Queen.
Would I know who the Raven Queen is, Greg?
You would know that ravens have been a very influential thing lately, and that you can recognize the tattoo as a raven's feather. You don't know necessarily who she might be or anything, I don't think. Right.
So she'll look down at like her wrist, and she'll look at Theris and be like, the Raven Queen. Who is that?
My lady is a goddess of death and memories, you could say.
At the word memories, she like perks up and is like, memories, you say? As in, what kind of abilities does she have there?
I don't pretend to know all of her abilities. I know that she searches for and likes to preserve elven memories, the shared collective that we have.
Can I look in my little book of grim knowledge to see if I know anything about the Raven Queen in there? And if by me knowing, I know if my husband knew anything. He has any notes?
Oh, broke my heart. Sorry.
Make like a religion check is basically what I'm asking.
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
Most of the potions in the book aren't related to memories.
The book is so the book is the way that I'm making the character make sense for being just a guy. It's basically every blood hunter thing that's like, you know, stuff about like things that are dark, or you have advantage on fae and undead and zombies and bad stuff, is just me referencing the book and being like, okay, husband said this is what I'm gonna do. To, you know, essentially he's posthumously giving me advantage on stuff by being a very smart person. Does that make sense?
It does.
And then I have a feature called Grim Psychometry. So anything. Oh no, sorry, that's only history checks. But so, and she's religion, so never mind. But if I make a history check and it's something that's sinister, tragic, dark, or just otherwise bad vibes, I have advantage because I have bad vibes. I'll make just a regular religion check because it's not with advantage. Unless it's about Fae, Fiend, or Undead, which I presume not. So I don't know anything.
Well, I was gonna say it's the book itself isn't filled with a lot of potions about memory necessarily. You have a lot of brews and a lot of concoctions that help you enhance your yourself, and like you said, there are some historical notes and things that a smarter man than you has written down. And
exactly.
But it is like you said, there are some things pertaining to religion in there, but not a lot pertaining to the Raven Queen specifically. Maybe some things about ravens and about the Queen of Memories, things like that, but nothing like that's telling you, oh, this is what it says for sure. Yeah. You have some vague interpretations of things that might be related.
You see him just like pull out a tiny little like breast pocket notebook that's like yay big, about yay thick, and he flips through it like through 20 pages, and then just like sticks it back into his like right within his leather. It just doesn't say anything.
Everything that it does have relation to, though, is related to elves. That's all you get on your religion check.
Would the Raven Queen ever take the memories of someone that wasn't an elf?
If they were important enough to, everything becomes down to importance, of course, because it's her. But so, why do you ask?
Okay. Well, okay, I wouldn't necessarily call myself important, but I have recently found out that I am apparently missing some of my memories, and I have no recollection of any kind of trauma that would have made me forget. And they seem to be very specific memories, like not a span of time. They center around a very specific thing.
Which is?
A person.
To explain more?
I wish I could. I
I guess what
I-
more I'm asking is, how do you know they're missing?
well, apparently, do you, is it okay to say his name here? I mean,
You're talking about Barovia.
yes.
No, I wouldn't. But I know who you're talking about.
Okay. Well, apparently I was in his castle
Okay.
just like before I came here, and apparently there's a person there um that I apparently knew, but I don't remember knowing them.
I guess it's ringing any bells for me.
Yeah, give me a religion check.
I should say, is this the stuff that we talked about beforehand? Because I have the whole like write up from beforehand. So is this just to see if I get the write up, essentially?
Somewhat, yeah. Because
You said a religion check.
right. Give me a religion check on that.
Okay, sounds good. I will do that. Come
you
on.
would know, no matter what you get on this. Okay, you did
Hey,
a good
dirty
one.
20.
You would know for
Thanks, Greg.
sure. Like, there's a base thing, as you know, as a follower of the Raven Queen, you would know this person's having memory problems, and they've somehow portaled from Barovia, which is hard to escape from.
Yeah, to here.
To the Shadowfell. So you know that this is definitely somebody that either is fated to meet the Raven Queen, or like go to like seek her guidance, kind of thing, or somebody that is messing with things, basically. So either way, it's valuable. Either way, it would be something that you might get a reward for making sure that she gets whatever she needs taken care of, because it's hard to, with memory. It's very hard to. Well, I got a little thing here that I read that I thought was just beautiful. A memory is a curious thing. One can come into consciousness unbidden, evoked by an unexpected scent or the words spoken by a friend. A memory can also be elusive, foiling all attempts to recall it, and sometimes remembered only after the hunt is abandoned, like a word on the tip of one's tongue. Some memories pull at the heart, weighing it down and holding it there as an anchor moors a ship. Others buoy it up, or make it flutter joyously, like the wings of a bird. Some memories lie in wait like predators, ready to leap out when the mind or the heart is vulnerable. And some linger like scars, not always visible, but ever present. And so the Raven Queen seeks out memories, because memories fill gaps. Memories are powerful things. And you having memory problems and showing up here at a time when there's a ritual happening, and knowing what you knew with the 20 from what was happening in the ritual and the spell components that Myra is standing on right now, you can put together that there is something to do with a memory in the past that needs to be put right. She is standing, the demonic being. Sorry, I realized I was up. The demonic being that was being controlled in this ritual that was about to happen by Lord Voltrix, the blood creature. It was being held inside of a ring of silt. And as Myra is standing there and you're answering these questions and looking at her and figuring her out a little bit, you can see that this was silt that was actually, it has that hue of the sand from the river Styx. And what it's used for is purification. as you travel down the river Styx, you are absolved of who you are completely. And all of your memories except the core essence, the most important things, are removed. And the river Styx, the sand does that. If you spend too long in it, you are changed. You are never the same person again. And so the sand was some sort of purifying ritual component. And that itself is something that the Raven Queen would desire. Just the sand of this ritual. So, like, people would trek across the whole realm with this sand, hoping to bring back a loved one or something. It's a powerful component to her.
Is the Ichor still here? I forget. He took it, right?
The Ichor is gone, but there is a candle that is that looks similar to it in nature, and it's got blood dripped all over it. And it looks like fresh blood, like in the last few hours, probably from your compatriots whose blood lies all over the ground here. It was probably some sort of component that goes along with the ritual to potentially direct it better, control it better. And then the third thing you'd notice is that there is a little small bird cage with a raven, and it is hanging in the cage. And instead of sitting on like a bird swing, it's instead hanging from the top of the cage with a string wrapped around its neck, and it's been like hung, and it's swinging in the cage. And so those three things are sort of on the altar with the candles and the everything, and Myra's standing and kicking the components and stuff like that with her.
Myra, right?
Yes.
Can you just back down off the table?
Yeah. And just because she can, I'm gonna backflip off the altar.
Okay, roll.
That's...
Roll dex. Dexterity, or it could be acrobatics. Yeah. Nailed it.
22.
Can I go up to the candle that's covered in blood and just like take 2 fingers and pinch off some of the blood and taste it to confirm if it's either, because it's probably the Shattered Kai blood, but I want to make sure that it's not the weird vulture creature's blood.
You'll have to tell me if you know the taste of the blood enough to know that, but I think you might.
Was he? So my question is he a Fey, fiend, or undead?
Right.
Or would Shattered Kai be under the realm of like technically?
No, we're not.
Like blood of the undead, because they.
No, we're not.
Age.
They're not undead. No.
Right.
And the blood is not Fey, fiend, or undead.
Taste like an undead. Okay. The vulture's not Fey, fiend, or undead.
The blood on the candle that you're tasting?
Right. Yes.
Right.
Is not,
but is also Voltrix, like in general, is the guy, Lord Voltrix, a Fey, a fiend, or undead?
Just wondering why you're asking that now.
Blood hunter stuff. For tracking him. Like if I go and excuse me. If I go and like investigate where he was standing and maybe like a feather fell off or whatever, can I figure out if he's a Fey, fiend, or undead?
Right. I do not believe so. But yeah, I'm gonna say no.
It won't be relevant until we start tracking him or anything anyway.
I don't think you would know that, and I'm just gonna say no, he's not. But I'm just gonna you wouldn't just because you don't pick up any of that from him. I'll say that that the lack of evidence is something.
Cool.
Well, I will say, look, if you're here and a portal brought you here, it means something. I'm I'm not sure what. Maybe I can find out. I need a rest, though, before I can.
I'm feeling exhausted, for sure.
I mean, traveling dimensions is not great for anyone.
Well, and I don't think I don't think I had slept really before that in a while. Not well, at least.
It's understandable.
Is this place safe? It doesn't feel safe.
I can keep watch while you guys sleep. I'm okay-ish. I do not need to take like a full sleep.
Okay. I mean, we can head inside and we have keys and stuff now. I'm sure we can, or at least find keys and go up to the proper place in the keep. So at least we can sit on a bed, lie with some blankets instead of out in the elements of the Shadowfell.
That, as long as it's not a tower.
I mean, it's partly a tower. It is a keep, but...
Oh, okay. I mean, beg users, I guess. But she'll be like, oh, and one more thing. Did you see that vial, that crow creature man thing that he had? What was it? Do you know?
I know what it is? Or do I not know what it is? Or did my husband know what it is and did he write it down somewhere?
It might be in your book, but it's not evident right now. It's a newer thing, if anything. You'd have to sit down and read it and figure that out. It's not anything you know anything about, and there is actually a bunch of language that you don't understand in your book as well.
Okay.
Stuff that's written in maybe something, a foreign language to you. Maybe it's a code. It's hard to tell.
Probably primordial. I don't speak that one.
So there is a chance that there's something in there that you might have to decipher. You could probably do some work at that overnight if you wanted to. But
yeah.
What was the other question again? Sorry.
Just, I was asking the group if they had seen the vial, knew what it was.
Right.
I do not know what it is, but it did come with me through the tree.
Well,
it did. Where did you find it?
In Faerun.
That's right. Wait, so that was brought here too?
Yes, with me and my brother.
It doesn't feel right.
I was not fallen through some random portal. The vulture thing pulled me through a tree, so I think I may have been unnecessary cargo. I just happened to be in possession of it and inside of the tree.
Oh. Well, how'd you find it? Like, what's the story there? From whom?
Some shitty nobleman that was a shitty guy.
Oh, lovely.
There are plenty of them like that. It'd be hard to find the opposite direction.
Still, it feels like...
Mm-hmm.
It feels like threads are being pulled.
I would agree.
But for what reason?
I mean, I typically don't follow any gods, so I don't really know. All I know is when I came here, I had a vision of that vial, and I think I need it to fight you-know-who.
Okay. You cast Shadowblade, right, during the fight? Myra did?
I did.
Yeah.
How'd you get the thing on your sword?
Oh, that was new. I have no idea. I don't know.
I think Thayers is trying to understand the incongruency since, I mean, he knows how to invoke most kinds of magic.
Right. She would be like, I think it has something to do with my memory loss. I remember being very upset and then going to sleep and waking up feeling better. And I've always had an affinity for certain kinds of magic, but after that, I had different magic, and it feels different. Kind of like it comes from outside of myself, as opposed to being from inside myself.
I'm familiar with the feeling.
Really?
Well,
Tell
I
me
mean, I
more.
wasn't able to do this before, and I like clap my hand, and it's like as the hand leaves, almost like sticky, like a sticky substance would. There's like arcs of lightning between the two hands. I was not able to do that before, so that's new. And it does not
Before
feel
the
like
tree.
it's new. Yeah, before the tree. I think that's tree. And this scar on my brother that he's sleeping off, that is new.
Yeah.
And when he made us run really fast, it was also new. Oh, and his halberd or glaive, halberd. It was not
Yeah.
a massive blade of lightning before. So I think we were in a magic tree.
A magic lightning tree. Did you get hit by
Sure, I
lightning
don't
while you
know.
were in it?
So all sorts of trees.
Is that how you got your powers, maybe?
Yes. We were hiding in the tree from the people that we stole the gross vial from after they killed my husband, and then we ran.
What
and
is
then we hid
happening?
in the tree, and then the lightning came, and then we got teleported.
Lord Ferris's
to
mind. He's
here
like, what the?
somewhere. Listen, it's
Yeah,
coming from the
small-
mind of a dude that doesn't know anything about magic, so he's just telling it as directly as he saw it. And then we were hiding in the tree for a moment, and then we realized that he had this like big lightning adjacent metal object inside of a tree in a lightning storm in a forest where there's a clearing and then there's one tree, and then we got struck by lightning, and then that hurt a lot. And then the weird vulture guy knocked us out. Took us out of the
I mean,
and then we woke up in the cell with you and your friend.
if
Right,
after all of this you want to be sent back,
I will
I'm
go back
sure.
and kill every person in the castle that killed my husband.
Right.
That is what will happen.
Maybe rethink that strategy.
I will not be rethinking that strategy. That is the end game.
I mean, I want to. I feel driven to kill you know who because he decided to force someone I care about to marry them against their will. So,
if killing you know who, I don't know who, but if killing you know who gets me back into Faerun, into that castle where...
I mean, I can send you back. That's what I'm trying to say, is if you want to go back, I can send you back.
But good character meeting not good characters. It's fine.
A debt has to be paid first. She saved...
Well, no, I understand. I mean, at the end of this, I can certainly send you back. I don't know how we're going to... There's just kind of like really exhausted at this point, really kind of using his big stuff and then like collecting thoughts. I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sleep this all off because
You guys sleep. I will take a watch, read my dead husband's book, figure out where we are. Potentially, maybe, I don't know.
I
tend
to have dreams that come true. Maybe that'll help.
Maybe don't have those kinds of dreams. Because I don't need any of them coming true.
Because I can control this.
It's true. I'm gonna search our collective memory. I'm just gonna head inside. That's what elves do.
Disassociate.
Yeah, just gonna go. I'm gonna cast banishment on myself. No, set myself just far away.
Just say 3 Hail Marys.
Theris didn't know what they were getting into, did he?
Would you?
Definitely
you would
not.
Come back though, right? Because this is your original plane.
Yes, technically this is my original plane. I would banish myself and immediately come back. Both of you would be gone and head back to Faerun immediately. Yeah, as long as I kept it up.
Yeah, for a minute or whatever.
Right. Okay. I take them inside the keep and lead them inside to try and find at least a semi-safe place. Perhaps even a room that like only has one entrance. That way, Marseille can, or I guess Moreau can watch us, guard us.
All right. And so the keep now that normally has a fairly lively group of Shadarkai roaming around, patrolling, and
some of them are party animals, you know.
some of them are actually. It's now silent. Shadows fall and lights flicker in attempt to stay alive in the chill. They don't provide enough heat. It's a non-comforting light when there is light, but there is just enough warmth to survive, and just enough foliage, fruits, and things like between foraging around on the outside of the keep and stuff. There are a couple of baskets of berries and things like that. You have to be careful because some of them have rocks and things like, not rocks, but seeds are strong as rocks inside, so you bite into some of them and you'll break a tooth. It's all quite annoying, but you can still eat, you know. There's razor vine that you can pull berries off of. You know, it's miserable, but it's bearable. It's doable, I should say. And so you try to settle down to get a night's rest here, Myra. And I'm sure there's a lot of thoughts running through your brain about your previous adventures. You remember Midnight and the group that was trying to hold itself together. Thinking back to the castle and the
Not
last
very
night
well.
there. You imagine them, hope they're doing their best, you know, and you're left with some unsettling thoughts. You see a dragon skull speaking with Midnight. A pact between light and shadow. You see a bird with no eyes, vicious, bloodthirsty, battling, a remnant of what you remember Krim to be when she first showed up in Barovia. You see Melina and her family of were-ravens all being separated, all being sent off. Her grandfather never seeing her again. All the worst scenarios you can imagine. And the last one that you see that leaves you with a night sweat is Irina. Coming to her senses in the middle of the day, scared. And for a moment, she holds her hands out and she's on a slab of amber. Not in a bed or anything like that, but on a hard slab of stone, of gemstone material. And you can almost feel the cold in your hands as she like jolts up and from her sleep and sees Strahd standing in front of her. looking down, smiling, holds out a hand, and you wake up. Everybody else around you is still sleeping. It's just, you might not have even been to sleep that long. You're not sure, but...
So she kind of gasps awake. I have to get back to Barovia.
I'm just standing there bandaging a wound. I don't know where that is. Is there a road?
I don't, not a typical one. But I have to get back there. Everyone I know is suffering. And it's because of one person. That person needs to die.
I can relate to this intent. And you saved my life, so I will kill whoever you need me to kill.
Oh, well, you know. It's not usually something that I do, but I'm glad I did in this instance.
Something about fate is what my husband would say here, very poignantly, but I don't know anything about that, so.
Well, do you want to? She'll hold out her deck of cards and be like, I might be able to tell you a little something about fate.
I don't like magic like that. Fate is, fate should stay how it is.
Okay.
Theris, right about
She'll
this
put them
time
away.
as they are having this conversation with the cards, you are also visited by, in your trance, a memory of you and the twin that you grew up with before you were in the church. Almost like you were soul siblings, and that bond is never something that, as you know, is never something that it's not a common thing in the Elvish people. It's a deep bond that goes beyond anything that you can fabricate. It's a soul connection, and often when one's twin meets something, a perilous end, let's say, the other twin doesn't have a great life afterwards, and you've been sort of having this, waiting for the shoe to drop on everything in life since your twin died, and a reoccurring dream that you have often is seeing you and your twin there together, and then it's just you standing alone. And today you see the same dream. You have the same dream again, where you're walking together, and then you're standing together, and you're looking at like almost like it's a photograph or something of you and your twin, and the two of you. And instead of seeing the two of you, you see Myra. And a version of Myra with darker hair, darker skin, completely black eyes. Not the Myra that's standing in front of you, clearly something different. And you hear them flicking cards. Flick. And you hear them talking about fate. And you guys can continue.
The fuck? Yeah. I think that I don't know. So we're in the Shadowfell. I don't know what that is. I don't know how to get. All I know is I need to get back to Barovia, and I think I need that vial that you came through with. And if this Raven Queen can help me or provide answers on my missing memories, I might need to find her as well. And in repayment, I will totally come back to Faerun with you and help you avenge your husband's death. I'm sorry for your loss.
That would be a favor, not required.
But I have a feeling that time is of the essence.
It usually is. Evil moves faster than most people think. That is something I am unfortunately familiar with.
Oh? What evil have you been fighting?
Capitalism.
She thinks back to how she was raised to take over Orwin's shop, and she's like, a noble fight.
There's a lot of corruption in every town and any place, but Greenforth is a particular scourge.
Well, any city has its underbelly.
Yes. Most certainly true.
All right, Greg, did we get a long rest? Or is this the middle of the night?
This is the middle of the night still, but it's getting there. And you're hearing...
Greg, I did send you a message if you could
help
answer that too. That would be amazing. Sorry, not to...
I am just taking a short rest.
My computer froze. Oh, what was Theris doing?
I just sent a message to Greg, and I was wondering if... Gotcha.
Doing something sneaky.
I have suspicions about things.
I don't know shit about fuck.
So you actually do know some stuff. You can roll for the journal. And it's going to be, for you, it's going to be a cumulative thing. You are going to get something out of this journal that's important, but it might not be today. Cool. But give me a history check at advantage.
Cool.
The DC is 100.
Cumulative, understood.
It's a cumulative DC, and every day you can give me another check.
Hey, that's a good start.
That's a good start. So there's an important key somewhere in here. You know that there is. You know that there's something to this. And it might be a combination of using your husband's shorthand with, like, maybe somebody else can help you out in deciphering it faster as well. You never know. But there is a clue in here somewhere that's going to help out. And it has to do with something to do with that bloody creature.
Understood.
So keep track of that number on your notes. And
I just wrote it down.
All right. When you hit the mark, it'll be unless it's too late for good stuff to happen. Because if you get like a bunch of 2s, then you might not make it out before it pays off.
Yeah.
So don't roll 2s. Keep that up. But yeah, you get you're almost at the end of this short rest, let's say, and you hear a clambering outside, the steel gates moving. There's definitely somebody at the keep now.
If they've been asleep or they're taking the long rest, I'm done.
I wasn't taking a long rest.
Yeah, you're pretty much done your long rest at this point, because you only need like 4 hours.
I only need 4 hours.
And yeah, so it's been about 4 hours now.
Okay, cool.
Myra needs a little bit more time. Mero, if you want to switch out with Theris, you can do that. Okay. But it's
the only thing I would lose is supportive exhaustion, which doesn't really affect me super badly.
Well, it's at that time just before that change would happen, like just right before the end of that. The end of your long rest. Yeah, the end of your long rest, Theris. You hear the gates moving outside when you guys are like, shift changing kind of thing, and you're still like putting your boots back on or whatever you got to do to get ready for the day as an adventurer, Moreau, you're still on guard kind of thing, right?
Right.
And you look over and you see Marseille is gone. He's not resting
Motherfucker.
where he was resting before.
Silly, sleepy boy. I thought about it. I was like, before we leave him, I'm going to flick him in the head and cast the brand of Cassignation on him so I know where he is at all times. Just in case. And then I forgot to say something. Because then I was going to do it to Myra, because I was going to ask her, do you often get thrown through portals when you sleep? Because I can mark you and know where you are forever. Just in case you get lost. And then I did neither.
Well, he's gone right now.
Is twice often.
Your friends are currently lying down, and they are, your new friends, they're currently lying down, and your good friend, your brother-in-law, right?
Brother and in-law, and also a metaphorical brother, because technically none of us are blood related, because we're all orphans. But
now it makes more sense. The interplay of the terms, I was like, I never had that completely clear.
We are all like air quotes brothers, but not by blood. We just all grew up in the same orphanage.
Now it makes more sense.
Right.
I think I knew that already, actually. But anyways, your brother
minutia
/ brother-in-law is gone, and the other two people are lying down still and just like waking up, kind of thing. You just had this talk with Myra. She's getting her stuff ready. You can go now, or you can wait for them. Up to you. You hear the noise out by the gate.
Would I have taken a short rest in that time while I was watching guard? Okay, cool. Let me do that really quick, because I think.
Are you following him or not? Are you going out to the gate? Sound?
Yes, but I think I get my potions back on a short rest, but I'm not sure. I literally have to do it to make sure. And then I just heal during my short rest.
I feel like if Myra...
Yes, I am. So I just, without grabbing any of my other stuff, I take the one potion I know that makes me run really fast, and I drink it, and I just fucking book it. And I take something else from the bag as I'm like, just like literally anything that would make noise, and I just throw it against the wall and say, something happened, and then just run.
Okay.
Hopefully it wakes up Elf, because he's like not really asleep.
Myra,
well, I was just going to say, after our initial conversation, I feel like Myra would have gone back to sleep if she hadn't had a long rest. But it's up to you. Has she had a long rest?
Or... It's up to you if you want to go back to sleep already, or like be at that point where you can get up if you want to. You know what I mean? You can interrupt your long rest and still have a long rest, as long as you get, as long as there's nothing too crazy in between. You're not taking hit point damage or anything like that.
Okay.
So yeah, if you just get up to pee, you're not going to stop your long rest. You know what I mean? It happens to me all the time. And so, if you wanted to follow him, it wouldn't ruin your rest. But he dashes out, and you guys see him, or maybe you don't. He jets out and throws the toy or whatever. But he gives you the notification, so if you wanted to follow him, you could.
All right. She would have followed him then, because she had agreed to.
So you're like a few seconds behind him, or whatever, a minute behind him at the most, and
I'm going to.
He'll run out. How fast is your speed, anyways?
30. A potion does not actually make me faster, but it does make me immune to being grappled, which is probably helpful.
All right. So you run out there, and you hear, before you see, Marseille grunting, like, and you hear that like guttural voice that he has, and a scrape of the halberd that he carries around on the ground. It's almost like he's laboring to stand up, and then you see his shoulder bulge out and come back.
No.
And then his head looks over towards you, and you can see that like it's not his face that you're looking at. It is a bloody, dripping face, and he looks over at you and like screams as it begins, like the demonic ichor splits away as he's like pulling at it and trying to like show you that it's him in a way, and you can see him like his terrified eyes, and then it snaps shut again, and he like it screams at you, and runs towards you, trying to knock you onto the ground. Roll a strength check. Strength save. I'll do a
I think I have disadvantage on those because of the thing I just did, which is very funny.
just bring your token onto the screen here so you can. So you're over here now.
Yeah.
And Marseille is like here.
Strength or athletics?
Stay there. And Marseille just ran at you like there. You could do. Let me do this. Like. Oh, that's contest. These two. Yeah. It'll be Well, I think I might have rolled for you.
That's okay.
Well, yeah. So
You won anyway.
he goes to try to grapple you and try to grab you, and he actually can't. He didn't realize that that's what your potion did. He slips off of you, and you feel the blood. It's warm. It's not your normal blood that you would. Yeah, like blood, and this is definitely there's a zing to this blood, as it
spicy blood,
as it actually feels like it's burning
blood.
when it touches your skin a little bit.
Yeah.
Marseille just wildly thralling in front of you. It doesn't look like him at all. Like your friend, the way it's acting at all. There's no you're not picking up any. If you didn't know him,
yeah,
you wouldn't recognize him at all. And it's just wildly going like this in front of you, thrashing around. It tried to grab you, but it couldn't. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I'm going to try to use the momentum of it just cannonballing itself into me to try to sidestep him, get behind him, and put a full Nelson around him and just start beating the shit out of whatever it is that's holding him. Any of the areas, specifically trying to target the parts that are weird and creepy and not just his regular blue skin.
Right.
Just let go of my fucking friend.
Okay.
And just start beating the shit out of him.
Do we come out at this point?
Yeah, you guys are gonna come out after he rolls his thing.
Do both. I don't know if I can roll it. I don't know if I can. Oh yeah, I can. I can just do this.
Well, maybe I just have to do this.
I could do it the manual way when we're not in initiative. Oops. There we see. Gross. An 18 to hit for the first one.
You hit him.
And then let me do damage that way. 14. Actually, no, that's not true. It is it's 4 less than that, so it's actually only 10. So I didn't turn this off. That's my fault. Don't have the crimson right on. And then one more.
Oops, wrong one. That's not right.
Then 20, which presumably hits, and then 6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay. You see that it's the creature roils away from your fists every time you make impact, but it also seems like Marseille is being hurt at the same time, even though your fist goes through the ichor and makes contact with rib, and you know that that's not the ichor's rib.
He's a tough boy.
So you have hit him, and your friends then come out as well. I'm going to bring you guys out of hiding. Say you come out on the top of the map here, or not your friends, but your new your new companions.
Bless you.
I'll let you guys roll initiative now too.
TV.
as you come down and out of the safety of the keep.
Oof. Nice initiative.
Nice. So Theris, you can go first now. I'll just do this for a second, and then we'll skip over Myra this turn. So you see that like he's tussling with this bloody creature that's writhing around.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna try and target the bloody creature thing
Okay.
with a banishment spell.
Okay.
Interesting.
Get out of him. That's not your body.
So what happened?
I think he's double
I
checking.
need a charisma saving throw from the blood creature thing.
I'm just trying to see.
Because if it's in him, is it going to banish him as well?
Well,
Yeah, I think it would be. I'm just gonna do a charisma save.
I mean, laws of
Marseille.
exorcism say no.
And so you see Marseille begin to, like, as your spell. Oh, how does your spell look, anyways?
I think sort of I don't want to be too on the nose of shit, but I feel like black feathers would just kind of like wrap around them, kind of like spectral black feather. What am I saying? Spectral black feathers wrap around them and just kind of like fold and eventually kind of open them. If they get banished, they would be gone, and if not, they'd still be there. But
so these feathers circle around him, and this glyph begins to open up on the ground underneath him, and then all of a sudden, a spurt of blood comes out of it, and the spell you were casting is instantly dispelled.
Can I?
Spelled by the devil, bro.
Yeah, seriously. Can I run? Is this?
Wasn't
Can I
dispelled
run up?
necessarily? You would know it wasn't like dispelled. It was.
Yeah.
It was resisted.
Yeah.
Can I run up to him and kind of try and shove Marseille into Moreau's arms?
Well, you've tried to banish him, so that's an action.
Oh, that's true.
So then,
Shove is an
Myra,
attack action.
seeing that this creature was just resolute in staying in place and very angry with Moreau, it seems to be even still ignoring Theris right now.
Okay. Can I see Marseille in the midst, or was that only
it's just,
something?
it is a blood-covered Marseille. Like a Marseille made of blood.
So she's gonna look at this creature, and she's gonna say, "Let me tell you something. I feel like it is in your best interest to not fight. I suggest you leave our friend alone." And I'm going to cast suggestion.
Bards. Could you kindly fuck off, please?
I'm trying. Okay, come on. I want to select you.
That's a wisdom save, right?
I believe so.
Suggestion? Yeah. Double check.
Oh.
Yeah, wisdom DC 19 or DC 14. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say, oh my god, that's a scary bard.
I
You fail
wish.
Okay.
Yeah, 19 is
She's a
next.
Dexy bard. She's not a charismatic.
Did
bard,
you have a
so.
bonus action too, or no?
Sure. Bonus action is going to be. Can't do that. Can't do anything because I cast a slotted spell. So nope. I'm good.
Okay. So Marseille's up, and all of a sudden he stops raging on Moreau there, and he's like, "Bruh, what's happening?" Kind of resisting for a second. The compulsion of this creature that's controlling him, obviously, and his head just snaps around like he can't even control it at all. And then he bounds like 60 feet in the air and lands on top of the roof of this embankment instead of even going through the gate at all, and then just jets off into the distance. And the last thing you guys see is Ranger making a sound from on top of the peaks here. Ranger ends up like, you see him like strike a pose almost, like he's preparing his bow, and you hear the bow get knocked, the stretch of the string, and all of a sudden that whip of the arrow, and then Ranger just disappears off the top of the rooftop as well. He seems to be in pursuit of this creature. The three of you are standing in the courtyard, and in like 1 second, Moreau was there, and now he's just jetted out. He seems to be bounding into the distance, heading in a northern/eastern direction. And in that direction, Theris, you would know, would lead to the swamps.
And Myra, as she watches that, she'll sigh and go, "Damn it, that spell never works the way I want it to."
What did you suggest to do specifically?
Leave our friend alone. I think it got confused on who the friend was. It's fine.
They're headed to the swamps.
It's headed to the swamps. I just got out of the swamps.
Moreau just like wordlessly goes and collects his things to go hunt his brother.
You got a punch in.
Kind of.
I did. I also could have opportunity attacked and then sentineled to make him not go anywhere, but I figured this is where we were going story-wise, so I didn't want to just be like, no, game over, goodbye, sentinel's broken.
Well, you could have, but you might have ended up dead, so it's probably a good thing you didn't.
Right, exactly. You saw him like
everyone's
for a moment, but
sort of going off in different places, especially Ranger kind of running off. We need to stick together.
Yes. We go, Ranger's over there, Marseille's over there, we go.
Myra, are you okay to travel?
So Myra's... She looks okay, but something just feels wrong. She feels like about half as strong as she would normally be. And she looks at him and is like, I don't think I got enough sleep.
I didn't sleep. I have some things I need to do anyway.
Waking up in the middle of your sleep would be a great time to use our first roll of this.
Oh God,
Moreau, you haven't slept yet. You got your short rest, but not enough sleep. And Myra waking up and then having this excitement.
No,
it's not the best way to start the day. It's definitely not a Folgers. If you'll go to on the top, there is next to the scenes or next to the people kind of thing. There is a rollable tables. There is a despair deck there.
Gimme.
Where you can roll, I believe, for despair.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect. He was already not trusting anybody. It's perfect. The dice knew what I wanted.
So
Ooh,
Great.
that's
Okay. What
tough.
does?
so you are a little more confident than you should be, uh, which kind of makes sense. It's like the dice know what they're talking about, and you take a -2 penalty to AC until you overcome your overconfidence, the delusional aspect that you can take the dragon on your own. So this, both of these are not discardable, and what that means is after a long rest, you can discard one despair card. There are ways that you can reduce your despair cards, but those two that you've rolled are not discardable just from a long rest. They add up if you can get anytime you roll a nat 1 or a nat 2 on an attack roll, you will have to roll on the despair deck as well. So it
Do I get affected by these things?
you don't unless you roll on the attack rolls. So
Gotcha.
a 1 or a 2, you'll also be rolling. But you have.
Don't worry about it. I got it. Just don't roll attack rolls. I got you.
Being
spellcasters.
a follower of the Raven Queen, and being like you are native to this plane, so you're not immune to despair, but you have tricks to counter it. And whereas these outsiders don't, and they are new to the whole thing, and so they're more easily affected by them. And
Okay.
so anytime you're reduced to 0 hit points, you'll automatically roll. Anytime you roll a 1, you'll roll again to determine on your
Right.
the failures chart that we have, depending on what type of attack roll you had. And if you roll badly on that, you end up taking a despair card as well, and things like that. Depends. Yeah. So, anyways, I got it all worked out. I'll let you guys know if you're getting one or not. But yeah, you have all those now, and you can get rid of them, but you don't know how yet. Only Theris knows, actually.
So more sleep for you, Myra. And then
But at the same time, his brother has just gone off. I don't feel great going to sleep if he's going to go running after him.
I understand, but we need you at full strength. You were barely at full strength when you came in to help us last time, and we barely finished that fight.
He is a
That's true.
strong
I did
man.
almost
He
get
can
sacrificed.
handle a demon, especially if there's a ranger tracking him.
I think we can leave it to them to stay safe for the time that we have, and then as soon as we can go, we go. But go get some sleep.
I definitely got more of a like demonic vibe than a fey fiend or undead, right? Or rather, abyssal. From that,
I mean, it's probably a fiend.
Yeah.
The okay, so the Birdman, you didn't get any of that from Lord Vultrix, but from your brother Marseille here, you picked up some undead vibes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
And then he would say it probably was an undead, at least the way, and he like takes some of the blood and tastes it, at least the way this blood tastes, and that means
I can
track it a little bit easier.
I can check as we get close to see if he's undead.
Magic.
Well, second sight more than anything else.
So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about before like the end of a long rest kind of thing, you have time to do that now. Other than that, we can start preparing for the next day. It's up to you.
I'm gonna commune.
Oh.
While Myra's sleeping, I'm gonna commune.
Okay.
I'm going to go grab more water.
Yeah, I will need a coffee break here in a minute.
Yeah. Why don't
make me sleepy.
Why don't we do the commune thing? Was it five questions? 3. Okay. Do you want to do that? Let's just do. I could go to the bathroom now too, and then everybody come back in a few minutes, and we finish up.
Sounds good.
The journey next time.
Sounds good.
Okay. Because we're not going to have too long of a thing later on if we wait to go to break now until late. You know what I mean? See you
Yes.
guys in a few. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
And welcome back. So, right before break there, we were about to sit down with Theris and do a prayer to the Raven Queen. So, as you watch Myra settle down again into sleep, and Moreau probably getting another short rest in, trying to...
I don't need another one.
Maybe not, but I imagine seeing that. What are you thinking about right now? I mean, seeing Marseille turn into some kind of blood demon.
It depends on where he communes. Because if he communes in the room with us, he would be in like the most strategically distant position from both of them, and just like kind of sitting on like a nearby bench or something, just like calmly, like focusedly watching both of them intently.
Okay. So Theris, how do you want to do this?
I'll sit. If it seems like people will be uncomfortable, I'll sit far away. Maybe even in a different room. If it seems uncomfortable. Is there like a full-on like shrine to the Raven Queen here at the keep?
There was at one time. It was
Probably destroyed at this
outdoors,
point.
and it's been destroyed. Yeah, in the raid. So
Okay. I'll just go to a different room so it doesn't make people uncomfortable, because it can make people uncomfortable.
Okay.
/ I also want some like peace and quiet.
Okay.
Away from these people who have repeatedly said they'd straight up murder people.
What? That doesn't sound like me.
Not at all.
That 100% sounds like Myra.
So I'm gonna sit down. And I imagine that I have a raven feather on me. It's in some way, shape, or form that I kind of pull out and focus in on, just so that I can get in to connect with her.
You've plucked that feather yourself, actually.
Lovely. So I kind of close my eyes and reach out as I can with my mind, and just kind of I don't want to go any further without some answers, so does Myra need to come to see you? Go on a trial to have her memory restored?
And as you feel the question leave you, the room whirls a little bit with like a gust of wind, sort of, and the feather that you were holding spins up in that wind, and it splits into two and lands on the ground in the form of a raven. And it looks up at you and nods its head. Yes.
Do I have the ability currently, in this moment, to restore Marseille's mind to himself?
Perhaps.
Am I needed in the fight in Barovia?
Perhaps. And then the feather, again, the raven that was staring at you, you see a feather falls off of it, and that feather falls to the ground, and when it hits the ground, the raven disappears. Your feather is on the ground.
Always so cryptic. I pick up the feather, slowly walk back, knowing a little bit more and being a semi-afraid of what that means for people. Then I just kind of plot myself down and wait. Keep watch.
As you're watching and you're keeping watch, one thing you notice that when you see Myra shift in her sleep, kind of, you hear a ruffling sound for a second, and you look over and you see on her forearm, like she's kind of sleeping, and you can see there was a tattoo there that she had pointed out. And instead, right now, there's a raven perched on her arm, watching her sleep.
Creepy at all.
Not LARPing.
I look at it. Sort of, I will not whisper so that way you can hear me, but I am whispering in the world of things. But I whisper over to it. Exactly. Internet whisper. I whisper over to it. Are you here to show us the way?
And then it kind of like half crawls and half nestles itself into her skin again. And it's
so weird.
Its head pops out one last time and goes, perhaps, and then disappears back into her skin as a feather again.
I definitely take a deep breath, trying to not get
gross.
She definitely knows how to rile me up a little bit with like how much I didn't like before when I was like not a non-believer but didn't like really care. And now that I do care, she knows how to rile me up just by like giving me the most cryptic ass answers. One day I'm gonna perhaps use.
Awesome. So yeah, you guys wake up, or Myra, you've gotten your sleep in. It's something of a morning, let's say. It's hard to in the Shadowfell. It's hard to necessarily tell time, but there is something to follow of a sun, even if it's quite blurry and hard to tell where it is. And
that means I'm back to my normal max.
You are, I believe that does take away all of your reductions.
Good.
Long rest remove any health reductions.
Yeah.
Should
nobody had
usually.
more than one exhaustion point or anything like that either, so I think you get...
I should have one now, though, theoretically. Depending on when the last time I slept. Last time I slept was, because I didn't take a long rest. So it's up to you when that kicks in, when the 24-hour mark is, because
it's pretty close to there now.
Soup.
It's pretty close to there now
I'm
for
okay
you.
with that.
Yeah.
I'll throw it on there so I don't forget.
So yeah, it's like the direction that that you saw Ranger take off in is definitely towards the northeast, towards the swamps, and that is also the direction long distance from here. Gloomrod is to the east from here. Around Gloomrod is the Skins, which is a swamp that you do not want to travel through. There is the swamp lands that surround the Skins as well. And north of that is where the giants once roamed, and the mountains there. And then on beyond that is the Raven Queen's realm, where her palace is located, and the Fortress of Memories, or the Palace, the Fortress of Fate. It's got many names over the years and over the, but the result of what it is this is where she roosts. This is where she conducts all of her business, where she brings all the memories from the Shadowfell together, and this is where she ushers souls on to their final destinations, all of them going through her and through this palace. And so it's one of the things that no matter who you are, no matter if you've seen it, you remember it, the procession of souls that are waiting for an audience with the Raven Queen. And so all of that lies ahead of you, and Theris, you know this, potentially lying ahead of you. You're wondering if these people that are now brought to you even have the wherewithal to survive the journey, let alone the trial that follows. So you know that
Myra wakes up.
There's some survival stuff to do before you head out of here if you want to try to make a good trip. If you want to try to put something together for getting, you have a couple of weeks journey probably ahead of you. And take it away. Yeah, sorry.
So Myra will get up. She's feeling better than she has. And she's like, man, I am so ready to go after that bloody demon. What? Yeah, let's go to the swamps. Oh, and so like she's just kind of gathering her packs and her loot and gearing up. And she'll turn to Theris and be like, yeah, so how far away are these swamps now? I'm pretty sure I could get that suggestion spell to work if I were to see him again.
Maybe we try a different approach this time around. Perhaps a more divine one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can take it. It'll be fine.
Greg, remind me again. Sorry, what you said? It was what, like a few hours or like a day?
It'll be a few hours of marching through like desecrated lands, where undead are gathering, and a lot of shadow crossings are happening and stuff. And then as you transition out of the forest areas, it goes to a swamp, a legendary swampland, where you would know that buildings disappear from there and appear out of blue. One day, or you could go for a rest and wake up next to a building that wasn't there before. It is the kind of place where curses come and go and live their first existence for a short period of time and then move on, falling into the swamp again for another who knows how many days, months, weeks until they come back again. And it's just like a bubbling pit of evil, basically.
Lovely.
So Myra's putting on her pack and she's like, you know what? It doesn't matter. The ranger went that way. I'm just going to follow the ranger's tracks. I'm sure I can do that.
I mean, we could get supplies and stuff. There's stuff here. Or do you want to starve on the way there too?
I mean, of course I don't want to starve. Yeah, if we need supplies, let's get supplies.
Okay. 7.
Mr. DM, can you remind me, when we got lightning yeeted to the Shadowfell, we weren't in a swamp, right? We were just in a place with trees.
It was trees, but it was more spongy than it is here.
Cool.
You're heading back the same way that you came from.
Okay, cool. I couldn't remember if I was conscious when we got dragged in.
You had some memories of being transported in the beginning of the thing. Yeah, when you first arrived, it was still a forest there, but it was more swampy ground. And that was actually the
Right.
beginning of the swamplands, the edge of the
Cool,
swamplands
cool.
that you came from.
Because she would have been asleep, and I would have watched her while she slept until I was confident that she was asleep. And then while the elf was doing whatever elves do, I would have gone and grabbed like a bunch of torches off the wall here that are like in sconces, and doused them, and then put them in my bag and grabbed like maybe 2 loose planks, or at the very least like broken a cardboard, or not cardboard, what? Like broken a like a wooden box to get like a couple of like planks of wood, because if we're going to go into a swamp, those will be useful. And anything else that I see that me being a person that breaks into places would think would be good for navigating. If you want to make like a survival check or something for looking for shit, that's fine too.
Definitely. You can all make survival checks before you go to see if there's something that you could take along that looks handy.
13.
Okay, so you would, with that, you would notice that there is the rations that are here. They look like they're still not spoiled, but
cool.
Even from what you saw yesterday, it's almost like you thought that that would be good for 2 weeks, and now it looks like it's good for a few more hours or a day. The rot here is a lot quicker. You gather what rations you can with the 13. Theris, you remind yourself somehow that on that altar, that silt is worth its weight in platinum, at the very least.
The Raven Queen.
The Raven Queen wants that. So no matter what happens on this mission, no matter how, let's say, wrong you were about anything.
I'm not wrong about any. What are you talking about, Greg? I'm not wrong about anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
No matter what.
I'm amazing and perfect.
No matter what.
Yeah, but you're traveling with Myra now from End.
This is fair.
This is a postscript thing that you So yeah, the silt from the river Styx. That has many uses as a magical component as well, and it can help cure despair as well. So, in small amounts, in larger amounts, it can be quite deadly, or dissociative at least. So you also notice there is a box that it's dangerous, but it's powerful and expensive. And it's one of the things that a mage that was living here at the keep kept with his personal things, and it is a source of pure concentrated shadow stuff. So you have like a box or a casket sort of thing that you can open up and have a source of actual shadow stuff. It's not useful for everybody, but you know that for the right people, it's worth something in this place too. It can be a bargaining chip.
Fair.
And sorcerers tend to use it here in the Tenebrous Cabal. Is a very expensive component for them. And what was the other one again? A 9.
Yeah.
You find some rope.
Damn it.
It's good rope. This is a 100-foot long section of rope. They normally come in 50s.
Well, I'm not going to forget this again. I'm going to put it in my bag.
Nice. Yeah. So you guys feel like you're ready to head out. Not sure exactly how you're going to get there or where it is, some of you. What's your marching order out of the keep here?
I'll lead. I will try to lead, depending on what Myra does. But I can track Fey Fiends and
she's
Undeads
delusional
very
right
well.
now, so I feel
I'm
like
gonna
she would
look
be like,
for blood.
I feel like she would just be like, well, the ranger went that way, so we should go that way. And as she holds her hand, she's like, we should definitely follow the ranger. And Raven comes out of her arm and she's like, what the fuck?
That's a new one.
Yeah. What is that? And
I believe it's
the
literally-
Raven will like circle around her and then come down and land on her shoulder and then like put its beak like in her hair and just like ruffle her hair a little bit. She's like, hello. She tentatively will like pet its feathers.
It looks at you like, okay, and accepts the pet, and then just like work to do, and then takes off into the air.
You need a name. I'll think on that. But yeah, let's follow that.
And it starts doing large circles above your head, above the forest floor, looking for movement and stuff. So you can give me a D20 perception check at advantage, I guess. Let me see if I can. What's a...
At advantage, you said?
It'd be a +1.
A +1 to advantage?
A D20 +1 with advantage. Look at that.
That's a sound.
Okay, and Moreau, you can also give me a perception check, or like a
Can
survival,
I do survival
perception
check for tracking?
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. And then you said it is Faith, Fiend, or Undead. You don't have to be specific.
It is.
That I get advantage. Okay.
The bloody creature is. Oh wow!
Hey, I know his IP address.
Wow. Okay.
2 nat 20 perception checks.
I can smell him.
Okay. So
do I need to make one too, or are we all good with those two 20s?
well, you just see that you know what's going on, and they
That's
don't
fair.
have a clue, and they don't know what's ahead of them at all. They've never been here before, and yet they're leading the way confidently. And so you just have to be like, okay then. I guess I'm following these two.
You see him.
Mira's going to be like, because she can see through her familiar's eyes, right? So she's going to be like, whoa, am I flying?
Again.
As you like run and like hit like 2 dirt patches and like
can't see out of your
poof, and just like
You feel the sensation of flight on your wings, and then dirt in your mouth.
And then she'll kind of come back to her body while the raven's still flying above.
yeah, leave him be.
You see where Marseille originally like landed in the outside of the keep. There's like a puddle of blood or something because he was covered in it. And I just take like a palmful of it, including the soil, and just like stick it into a little vial.
It's actually
less whiff, like a scented candle.
It's less bloody than you'd expect, but it does leave thick, sappy blood left over on like branches and things where it pulls it off of it, and it can't recombine it again. But it is not normal blood. It is like
like runny,
sizzling
blood. It's like
acidic sap.
Gross. But I can smell it.
If you put it on
like
a rock,
bloodhound.
You can smell the rock cooking.
But I keep that vial of it just so that I can, like a bloodhound, keep smelling it.
Exactly. You with the 20, nat 20, you guys both like it like 25 would have been like the super DC, but nat 20s.
Unfortunately, that's as good as I got.
Yeah, exactly. You guys both did max good. So with that, I'm gonna say you lose no time at all, and you are directly on path to meet up with this bloody creature in the distance. I don't know how long we have now, or if we should continue from here. But I will say that that the next time that you pick up any difference in the trail, it's a few hours later, and you guys seem to be you're keeping a little bit of distance from each other and going over your own memories and your own thoughts in this place. And you do definitely feel like there's something watching you, or like there's something always pressing as you travel. Whether it be fate, whether it be some kind of destiny. It's not known if you're actually on a road that you're forging for yourself or not right now, and it's hard to tell. It's this feeling of being railroaded in a way, but also your choices led you to this road. So is it really? And so you have to ask yourself all these internal questions and uncomfortable things. And as you're about to reach out to each other because of the feeling of loneliness that's coming upon you, you start to hear your feet sinking into the ground slightly.
As I hear it, and I just still even hear like the uneasiness, I look over at Myra and I tap her on the shoulder, and I think I'd get in trouble if I let you die, so I death ward you.
Mama would be angry.
What just happened? Do I feel anything? Like what?
No,
No.
just a little bit of last minute protection from me.
Yeah, don't feel anything yet.
Well, I mean, thank you. I am capable of protecting myself, but I will accept all the help that I am because I'm out of my element. So, thank you.
Uh-huh. It to be completely honest, it was more so I don't get in trouble.
Okay. I mean, I don't really I knew a cleric once. I don't really get they tended to switch
No.
deities a lot. I don't pretend to
Bears gets a
understand.
really weird look on his face at the idea of changing deities. That's not how that works.
Apparently that's how it worked for him. I don't even try to pretend to know. I'm not what one would call a religious person.
It's okay.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
People that are opportunists.
Okay. Well, maybe that's a little bit of weird. Y'all are
You're not wrong.
you are a very pessimistic group. So I don't know how to feel about that. Is it this place? Probably.
Myra stops and thinks about it. She's like, I wish I could say yes.
I would say
You can 100% say yes.
I can absolutely say yes. I can even make it convincing.
Also, as we're on the edge of this swamp, I'm going to do Eyes of the Graves.
Oh.
It is 60 feet within us. See if there's any undead.
I think I got something like that too.
There are.
Where at?
Well,
I know the location of any undead within 60 feet of us.
There are skeletons that seem to be stuck near this tree. I don't know if you can see this tree down here, but
okay,
there are basically just a couple of skeletons that are stuck in the tree. They were probably like it's probably just barely in your vision. I don't know if you can see it or not, but it looks like this tree had fallen and potentially pin them here at some point. They are just forever stuck in the branches in the mud. Just...
Give a wide berth as I try to pull the group like the other way.
All right.
Tentatively follow instruction.
So,
So you avoid the couple of skeletons there, causing no trouble, but suffering nonetheless themselves for who knows how long. They could be a signpost on the journey. So yeah, I don't really want to go too much farther without the other two here. But you guys can make. Give me is this the marching order? You're all just like lined up sort of thing in the swamp?
Marseille would be distant.
Yeah, put yourselves wherever you're going to be in the scene sort of thing.
Yeah, that works.
So that I can know exactly what would happen.
That'll
And then
kill
give me
us.
some perception checks. As we come into the next stage of things.
Do I still get advantage on perception?
Oh, wow. Theris, you're so lucky. Oh.
Oh
Hey,
my
you're in-
god.
Great
you're in the
luck with
front.
perception.
3 natural 20s in a row.
You're in the front, and your nat 20 just saved you. Wow. That's crazy. Because I was like,
Saved
okay,
me?
whoever's in the front, your next step was just about to be. You're stepping
Into
in
the
thinking it
bog.
was swamp,
Oh,
and it was not swamp ground underneath your boot there, and you managed to pull your boot out right away, knowing exactly what it was. Just by the
Oh,
feel of it for a
shit.
second, you almost stepped in quicksand. A bog of sandy
Oh, no.
patch.
oh no!
All right, I got to roll on the despair, and I get sucked into quicksand.
No, well, I mean, Theris, unless you wouldn't have said anything, would have been the one to walk
I
into
will.
it. Yeah.
100% will.
Just like crossbar her
Unless you
into
just
kill
watch
trees.
her, like I'm imagining this now, like
No,
quicksand.
no. Here's here's what I imagine happened. So they're walking in the swamp, and then Myra still can feel her familiar above her. So she is just kind of like, you'd think I'd learned my lesson, but she's delusional right now. And she is just like, I want to fly again. And like starts going up there where she's watching through the raven's eyes and not paying attention. And then Theris is like, wait. And then she's like, what?
Yeah.
So like
But we should
Theris, you have
leave
this
it up
moment
there.
of like, do you want to watch her walk right into the quicksand?
I do kind of. I look at her like I've stopped,
Yeah.
and she's like gonna continue, and I just watch her sort of continue for a sec, and then I sort of like sacred flame in front of her, like not
Oh.
touching her, and just kind of like, hi,
Snaps her out
I
of it.
stopped, so you stop.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't paying attention. And then I'm going to roll on the despair deck, right?
Yes.
How do I roll for the other one? I'm a little confused on
Well,
how
then no,
that
that's not an
works.
attack roll. But for the despair deck,
It's only on attacks?
yeah, you don't have to worry about it on a perception check.
Okay.
Saves and
good to
attacks.
know. Saves and attacks. Okay. And but how do I go about like checking for, I wasn't really sure how I can work on getting rid of the despair that I have, since it's not one that goes away at dawn.
Right.
That's on me.
Something to
That's
talk
on
about,
me.
maybe. Something to talk about. You can definitely
Unfortunately,
feel
mine
yourself
is that I
being
don't
affected.
trust both of you, so
Yeah, exactly.
I will not be asking for help.
Good.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I am just not myself today. I feel good, except I also feel awful. Yeah, we need to, we got to do the thing. Let's go do the thing.
Okay.
Ferris, what have you got yourself into?
Oh God.
Leading the blind across.
Quite literally, the blind.
Yeah.
She'd rather be flying.
Back and you just see
Freaking-
Moreau staring like fucking bullet holes into the back of both of your guys' heads with a very serious intent. Just cautiously watching.
You're like, wow, I really hope these people can actually help me.
Occasionally, you guys pick up more trails, more tracks from Marseille, so you know you're in the right direction. You definitely passed through here. Footprints. It definitely wasn't trying to hide his trek back. It definitely has some strength that's unnatural, because at times you see like the jump that he made over the wall there. There are leaps over trees that you pick up the trail again 60 feet later, kind of thing. So like it's given him some. He's not necessarily himself right now at all, and that is a little scary to you as well, Moreau. So I think we should stop there for the week, if you guys are okay with that.
It's fine with me.
Then we can include maybe Ranger shows up here in the swamp as well. First thing next episode. And if not, then I'll play Ranger for a little while until Ranger maybe shows up. I can have trauma.